I'm happy to be here at Lost Lake. We're going to be doing Wild Fridays here all summer long. Each week we're going to do a different animal and kind of a little bit about their habitat and where they live. We're going to do a song, a couple activities, and then we're going to finish up with the song as well. So I'm going to head off now and we'll get started with this week's theme. Start with the hello song here at Wild Fridays. Hello friends, hello friends, hello friends, it's time to say hello, hello. So we're gonna do take 5. If you wanna hold up 5 fingers and use your other finger as a pointing finger, we're gonna trace our fingers. And as we trace up, we're gonna breathe in, and as we trace down, we're gonna breathe out. So it goes like this, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Today's feature is wetlands, and today's animal is a western toad. So you may have seen the western toads at Lost Lake, more likely to have seen perhaps the tadpoles by the beach or the tiny toadlets later in summer as they're traveling across the trail. So you might want to come by and check out this interpretive sign here at the lake. It tells us a little bit about like how many eggs the adult western toad can lay, anywhere from 12,000 to 17,000 eggs in a delicate strand. That's usually in the aquatic vegetation. So something that's really important in shoreline vegetation is it kind of gives a little bit of cover for amphibians to lay their eggs and for their young to develop while they're feeding early on. We're going to take a look now at another area of the wetland. Tell you about some other critters that also lay their eggs in the water and then start their life breathing through gills and make their way on land. They are salamanders. So there's a few different salamanders that live right here at Lost Lake. One of them is called a rough-skinned newt, and he's got rough skin, little bumps in his back. There's another one called the long-toed salamander, and they often have like a pretty distinctive yellow stripe down their back. That's the long-toed salamander. There's also the northwestern salamander, and it's like a very dark in color, not quite black, but a very dark looking salamander. And you might be more apt to find a salamander up in the forest, like hiding out under a log. And there is one other type of salamander in the valley called the ensatina, and it lays its eggs on land. So it's kind of a really unique characteristic of a salamander, but still part of the same family. Now we also have some frogs in the area. So we've got the Pacific coarse tree frog. They're quite small, so you might be more likely to hear those ones than to see them. The red-legged frog is quite a rare species, and you would know it's distinctively on the back of its leg. It's looking red on the underside, and also the coastal tailed frog. What's neat about that species is they live in fast-flowing streams like Crabapple Creek, and the tadpole has especially designed mouth with like a suction cup on the bottom, so it's gonna stick to that rock and the fast flowing current's gonna run right over its back, and that's how they kind of survive in that type of fast flowing environment. And now today I wanted to introduce to you a couple of activity ideas. The first one is to make your own clipboard. So very simple. Let me just show you here. We have this is an old sign, but really you could use a piece of cardboard, like a brown cardboard box, or even a cereal box to make your clipboard. And then if you happen to have maybe one of these clips at home, perhaps you have a clothespin, that would also work, or a paperclip, any one of those things, then you can get a piece of paper and you'd be all set with your very own homemade clipboard. And the second part of today's activity, if you'd like to, is to get out in nature. and really tune into your senses. So take a look around. What are you seeing? Take a look at how many different things you can see, and you can either write them down or draw a picture of them or simply count them as you go. And then you might also tuning into your ears, your sound senses. What are you hearing, and how many different things can you hear while you're out? You know, do you hear maybe a bird? Do you hear children? Do you hear frogs chirping in the background? Whatever you can hear. The number of different things you can hear and the number of times you hear it each time. So that's a little bit of fun to have out in nature. And now I'm just going to carry on for today, and we'll wrap up with the song. Today's nature-inspired song is called Hop, Hop Away, My Darling, and it's to the tune of Skip to My Lou. So the first creature we're going to feature is the frog, and we're going to talk about how the frog moves and also the sound it makes. So the frog on the pond goes ribbit, 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 and then it's going to hop, hop away, my darling. The next creature we're going to feature is the western toad, and it makes like a weird squeaky sound, like so it's weird to put in the song, but that's the sound that they're known to make. And he's gonna crawl away, because they crawl away. They're known for their crawling. The next one is the fish. So the fish is gonna go gulp, 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 and then he's gonna swim, swim away, my darling. The crow is gonna caw, 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 and he's gonna fly away, my darling. And the duck is gonna quack, 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 and he's gonna fly away, my darling. And the last one is gonna be the snake, and he's gonna go and slither away, my darling. So this is our song for today. Frog on the pond goes ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Frog on the pond goes ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Frog on the pond goes ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Hop, hop away, my darling. Toad on the pond goes, toad on the pond goes, toad on the pond goes. Verses to that song too while you're at the lake, maybe with some of the things you find. Before I go, I just wanted to finish up with the goodbye song. So we're gonna say goodbye toads and goodbye friends. It goes like this. Goodbye toads, goodbye toads, goodbye toads, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye friends, goodbye friends, goodbye friends. Goodbye. Thank you all for joining me here today.